The boardroom stretches like a courtroom, all glass and steel and judgment. Jasmine Carter stands at the head of the conference table, her hand extended across polished mahogany. Professional, appropriate, expected. Marcus Ashford recoils like she's offered him poison. The fluorescent lights hum overhead. 40 witnesses hold their breath. Security cameras capture every angle, every micro-expression, every second of what comes next. His lip curls, not subtly, not privately, but openly, deliberately, with the confidence of a man who's never faced consequences. "I don't shake hands with people like you," he says clearly, his voice carrying to every corner of the room. The words land like a slap. Someone gasps. His VP shifts uncomfortably. The lawyers from the merging firm exchange glances. Jasmine's hand remains extended for 3 more seconds. Her face reveals nothing. No anger, no humiliation, no shock. Just stillness. Then she lowers her hand slowly, gracefully, and sits. Marcus adjusts his cufflinks and smiles at the white executives surrounding him. "Let's begin," he announces as if nothing happened, but something did happen. And everyone in this room knows it. 6 months earlier, Jasmine Carter was untouchable. Her corner office at Meridian Capital overlooked the city like a throne room. Senior VP of Acquisitions, Yale Law graduate, 10 years of flawless deals and impossible wins. Every contract she touched turned to gold. Every negotiation she entered, she conquered. Her desk held 2 photos. One, her daughter Maya, 8 years old, gap-toothed and bright-eyed, wearing a science fair medal. The other, her mother, gone 5 years now, wearing her church hat and that knowing smile. Jasmine knew the game. She'd learned it young. Her mother had scrubbed floors in office buildings after dark, dreaming of a daughter who'd sit at tables instead of cleaning them. "Be twice as good to get half as much," she'd whispered over homework and hope. Jasmine had taken those words and built an empire from them. She'd code-switched through law school, smiled through microaggressions at internships, documented everything because her mentor, Judge Patricia Reynolds, taught her that emotions fade but evidence doesn't. By 35, Jasmine had earned her place. Not given, earned. When Marcus Ashford was announced as the new CEO 3 months ago, Jasmine felt cautious optimism. His reputation preceded him. Ruthless, brilliant, a modernizer. The board worshipped him. The stock price jumped. Everyone called him a visionary. Today's partnership meeting should be routine. 2 firms merging. Handshakes and champagne. Standard protocol. Jasmine dressed carefully that morning. Emerald green blazer, her mother's pearl earrings. Professional armor. She reviewed the merger documents twice, anticipating questions. She had no idea she was walking into an execution. The conference room gleams with power and money. Mahogany table. Leather chairs. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Marcus arrives 15 minutes late, his entourage trailing behind like disciples. Designer suit. Expensive watch. The kind of confidence that comes from never being told no. Jasmine stands as he enters. Standard courtesy. She extends her hand across the table. Marcus's eyes slide over her, then away. His jaw tightens almost imperceptibly. He moves around the table, shaking hands with every white executive present. Firm grips, warm smiles. "Good to see you, John. Sarah, how's the family?" Each handshake deliberate and public. He approaches Jasmine's side. The room quiets. She extends her hand again, professional smile in place. Marcus stops 3 feet away, stares at her hand like it's diseased. His nose wrinkles. He actually recoils, stepping back. "I don't shake hands with people like you," he says clearly, loudly, ensuring everyone hears. His VP laughs nervously, then catches himself. Someone whispers, "Jesus Christ," under their breath. The lawyers from Klein & Associates freeze, pens hovering over contracts. Jasmine's hand stays extended for 3 more seconds. Her face betrays nothing. No tears, no anger. Just steady, unblinking attention. Then she lowers her hand, sits, opens her leather portfolio. Her pen presses against paper so hard it nearly tears through. Marcus takes his seat at the head of the table, adjusting his tie. "Let's begin," he announces, dismissing the moment entirely. "We have a lot to cover." The meeting proceeds. Marcus discusses merger terms, quarterly projections, market positioning. His voice fills the room with authority and vision. Jasmine takes notes, says nothing. Her pen moves across paper with surgical precision, documenting every word, every pause, every person who witnessed what just happened. 40 professionals. One racist refusal. Security cameras rolling. Marcus just handed her a loaded gun. Jasmine's office door closes with a soft click. The world outside continues spinning. Phones ringing, keyboards clicking, the machine of business grinding forward. Inside, silence. She stands at the window, overlooking the city from 20 floors up. Her reflection stares back from the glass. Brown skin, sharp suit, invisible wounds. Her mother's face flashes in her mind. All those speeches about dignity, all those warnings about being the only one in rooms that don't want you there. Keep your head up, baby. Don't let them see you break. Jasmine's hands shake. She clasps them together, breathes deeply through her nose. Marcus Ashford just committed career suicide in front of 40 witnesses. He doesn't know it yet, but she does. Her mentor's voice joins her mother's. Documentation beats confrontation. Record everything. Emotions fade. Evidence doesn't. Jasmine thinks of her daughter, thinks of every black woman who swallowed these moments whole, who smiled through humiliation, who kept quiet to keep their jobs. Not this time. She reaches for her phone, then stops. Strategy first. Emotion later. The shaking in her hands stops. Her breathing steadies. When she turns from the window, her face is calm, focused, lethal. Marcus Ashford thinks he's untouchable. About to learn he's not. Flashback, Jasmine at 15, visiting her mother's night shift. The office building gleamed during the day. At midnight it belonged to the cleaners. Her mother pushed a mop bucket down empty hallways, humming gospel songs to keep herself company. "Why do you work so hard, Mama?" Jasmine had asked, doing homework in an empty conference room. Her mother stopped, exhaustion carved into her features. 50 years old but looked 70. Knees bad, back worse. "So you never have to do this, baby. So you sit at the table, not under it." Those words became Jasmine's gospel.law school on scholarships and student loans. Internships where she was always the only black face. Learning to code switch between boardrooms and family dinners. Learning to smile through insults disguised as compliments. Learning to be flawless because good wasn't enough. Her mentor, Judge Patricia Reynolds, taught her the game within the game. They'll test you constantly. Document everything. Every email. Every meeting. Every interaction. When they come for you, and they will, you'll have proof. Jasmine built her career on this principle. Every conversation recorded in detailed notes. Every email saved in multiple folders. Every performance review documented and backed up. She never expected to need it against the CEO himself, but her mother's voice whispers from memory. "They'll always show you who they are, baby." Believe them the first time. Marcus showed her exactly who he is. Now comes the part where she shows him exactly who she is. The daughter of a cleaning woman, a Yale Law graduate, a woman who knows the difference between justice and mercy. And right now she's not feeling merciful. Jasmine works through the night. Her office becomes a war room. First security footage. She emails IT at 6 p.m., requesting the boardroom recordings from today's meeting. Standard protocol for partnership negotiations. Request approved within an hour, no questions asked. Second, formal documentation. She drafts an email to HR, clinical and precise. Time, date, location, witnesses, exact quote. No emotion. Just facts. Then she digs deeper. Marcus Ashford's history emerges from public records and news archives. 3 discrimination lawsuits at his previous company, all settled quietly with NDAs. A pattern of promoting white executives exclusively, not one person of color in his inner circle across 15 years. Anonymous Glassdoor reviews mentioning cultural issues and hostile environment for minorities. The evidence builds like a mountain. Her heart pounds harder with each discovery. At 2 a.m. she finds the smoking gun. Last month, Marcus sent a confidential email to the board. Someone in IT accidentally CC'd it to company-wide distribution, then recalled it within minutes. Only 17 people saved it before the recall. Jasmine was one of them. She opens the email now, reading it for the 4th time. We need to phase out diversity hires and focus on merit-based advancement. Optics matter less than results. I recommend restructuring certain departments to reflect this priority. Diversity hires. Optics over merit. The subtext screams from every line. Jasmine's hands hover over her keyboard. The fluorescent lights hum overhead. Her mother's picture watches from the desk. Her daughter's gap-toothed smile beams from the frame. This isn't about one handshake anymore. This is systemic, documented, provable. She knows what she has to do. The question isn't if she'll act. Here's how loud she'll make him fall. Morning breaks over the city. Jasmine arrives at 7 a.m. wearing ruby red, her power color, the color her mother wore to church, the color of blood and victory. Marcus holds court in his corner office, laughing with his inner circle. 3 white VPs, 2 white directors. The boys' club in full effect. Jasmine knocks once. Enters without waiting for permission. The laughter dies. Marcus looks up, annoyed. I'm in a meeting. We need to talk about yesterday, Jasmine says calmly, closing the door behind her. Marcus barely glances at her. Nothing to discuss. You're being oversensitive. His VP, David, smirks. Perhaps you misunderstood the situation, Jasmine. Marcus was just... I didn't misunderstand anything. Jasmine places a folder on Marcus's desk. 40 witnesses. Security footage. And your email from last month about phasing out diversity hires. The room temperature drops 10 degrees. Marcus's smile freezes. He opens the folder, scanning the documents inside. His jaw tightens. That email was taken out of context. Then explain the context, Jasmine says evenly. Silence. Marcus closes the folder slowly. Leans back in his leather chair. His confidence returns like armor. You're threatening me? I run this company. The board loves me. Stock price is up 18% since I started. You're one VP among many. Replaceable. He stands, using his height to intimidate. I'll give you some advice, Jasmine. Drop this. You'll lose everything. Your career, your reputation, your future. I have lawyers who'll bury you. Friends on every board in this city. You're picking a fight you can't win. Jasmine doesn't move, doesn't blink. Noted. She turns and leaves. Behind her, Marcus laughs. David joins in. They think they've won. They have no idea what's coming. Jasmine returns to her office. The door closes. Her hands tremble as she sets down her bag. The folder she showed Marcus was a copy. The real evidence sits in her office safe, backed up on 3 separate drives and her personal laptop. But doubt creeps in like poison. Marcus is right about one thing. He's powerful. The board adores him. Stock prices don't lie. She's one woman against an empire built on old money and older loyalties. Her phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. Drop this. You'll lose everything. Before she can process it, another text. Think about your daughter. Her blood runs cold. They're threatening Maya. Jasmine grabs her phone to call the police. Her finger hovers over the dial button. Then stops. Calling the police escalates everything. Creates a paper trail. Makes this a criminal matter instead of corporate. But not calling means they win. Means they can threaten her child without consequence. She looks at Maya's photo on her desk. 8 years old, innocent, trusting. Expecting her mother to change the world. Her mother's voice echoes across 5 years of grief. Sometimes you have to lose everything to gain yourself, baby. That's when you find out who you really are. Jasmine stares at her phone, at the threatening texts, at the evidence in her safe, at her daughter's face smiling from the frame. Outside her window, storm clouds gather over the city. The sky darkens. Thunder rumbles in the distance. Everything changes tomorrow. One way or another, Jasmine makes her choice. Jasmine sits in her darkened office at 3 a.m. The city sleeps below. She hasn't. The threatening texts glow on her phone screen. Anonymous, untraceable, vicious. She's reported them to police, but they were clear. Without direct evidence linking them to Marcus, there's nothing they can do. Her daughter is at her sister's house, safe but confused. "Why can't I come home, Mummy?" Maya asked on the phone, her voice small and frightened. Jasmine had no good answer. Everything is collapsing. 3 colleagues avoided her in the hallway today. HR scheduled a wellness check meeting tomorrow. Corporate code for "we're building a case to fire you." Marcus's lawyers sent a cease and desist letter, threatening defamation suits if she continues making baseless accusations. The board hasn't returned her calls. Her office feels like a tomb, silent, empty, cold despite the heating system. Her desk sits her mother's old Bible, the one she carried to every cleaning shift. Jasmine opens it randomly, and a pressed flower falls out. A magnolia from her mother's funeral. She picks it up carefully. Remembers her mother's last words in the hospital. "Don't let them break you, baby. You're stronger than you know." But right now, Jasmine doesn't feel strong. She feels alone. The magnolia petal crumbles slightly in her fingers. Fragile. Delicate. But it survived 5 years pressed between pages. Jasmine closes her eyes. Breathes. Decides. Tomorrow, she stops playing defense. Tomorrow she goes on offense. Morning arrives with clarity. Jasmine calls Judge Patricia Reynolds at 7 a.m. Her mentor answers on the first ring. "I was wondering when you'd call. You heard?" Everyone's heard, Jasmine. The question is what you're going to do about it. Jasmine explains the evidence. Security footage, the email, the lawsuits, the pattern. Judge Reynolds listens without interrupting. "You have everything you need," the judge says finally. "But you're missing the most important piece." "What's that?" "Allies. You can't fight an institution alone. You need other voices." Jasmine hadn't considered this. She'd been so focused on documentation, she forgot about community. Judge Reynolds continues. That boardroom had 40 witnesses. Some of them have consciences. Find them. Record their statements. Make this bigger than just you versus him. After the call, Jasmine reviews the meeting attendance list. 40 names. She starts making calls. The first 5 decline to comment. The 6th, a lawyer from Klein & Associates, agrees to meet for coffee. His name is Robert Chen, mid-40s, partner at his firm. He looks uncomfortable as Jasmine sits across from him at the cafe. "What he did was wrong," Robert says quietly. "But I can't testify. My firm does too much business with Meridian." "I'm not asking you to testify," Jasmine says. "I'm asking you to write down what you saw. Just the facts. Dated and signed." Robert hesitates, then nods. "I can do that." By noon, Jasmine has 4 written statements from witnesses. By evening 7, each one describing exactly what happened, exactly what Marcus said, exactly how deliberate his refusal was. The mountain of evidence grows taller. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Then does. "Miss Carter." A woman's voice. Young, nervous. "My name is Amanda Price. I used to work for Marcus at his previous company. I heard about what happened. I want to help. The emergency board meeting is scheduled for Friday at 10 a.m. Marcus called it himself, confident he'd bury Jasmine's complaint before it gained traction. He has no idea what's waiting for him. The boardroom fills with tension. 12 board members, Marcus at the head of the table, flanked by his lawyers. Jasmine sits alone on the opposite end, a single folder in front of her. Board Chairman Gerald Whitmore clears his throat. "Mr. Ashford requested this meeting to address certain allegations. Ms. Carter, you have the floor." Jasmine stands. smooths her emerald green blazer. Her mother's pearls catch the light. "Thank you, Mr. Chairman." Her voice is calm, steady, lethal. On Monday, October 14th, Marcus Ashford refused to shake my hand in front of 40 witnesses. He stated, and I quote, "I don't shake hands with people like you." Marcus's lawyer interrupts. "That's a gross mischaracterization. I have security footage," Jasmine says, clicking a remote. The screen behind her comes to life. The boardroom watches in silence as the incident plays out. Marcus recoiling, the disgust on his face. His exact words captured in crystal clear audio. When it ends, no one speaks. Jasmine continues. "This isn't an isolated incident. Marcus has a documented pattern of discrimination. She distributes packets to each board member. 3 settled lawsuits at his previous company. Anonymous complaints from current employees. And this email he sent to you last month, recommending we phase out diversity hires." Gerald's face pales as he reads. Other board members flip through pages, their expressions shifting from skepticism to shock. Marcus stands abruptly. "This is a witch hunt. I've increased this company's value by 20%. By creating a hostile work environment," Jasmine interrupts. "I have 7 written statements from Monday's meeting, each one corroborating my account." She places the statements on the table. "I also have testimony from Amanda Price, who filed a discrimination complaint against Marcus in 2021. It was settled with an NDA, but she's willing to break it to testify." Marcus's lawyer whispers urgently in his ear. His confidence cracks. "Furthermore," Jasmine says, her voice strengthening, "I've filed a formal complaint with the EEOC. They're opening an investigation. This company now faces significant legal and reputational risk." The room erupts. Board members arguing. Lawyers conferring. Marcus's face turns red, then white. Gerald bangs his gavel. "We'll adjourn for executive session. Miss Carter, Mr. Ashford, please wait outside." 2 hours later, Gerald emerges from the boardroom. His face is grave. "Miss Carter, please come in. Mr. Ashford, you're dismissed." Marcus stares in disbelief. "You can't be serious. The board has voted unanimously," Gerald says coldly. "Effective immediately, you're terminated for cause. Security will escort you out." Marcus's face contorts with rage. He looks at Jasmine standing calmly beside the doorway. "This isn't over," he hisses. "Yes," Jasmine says quietly. "It is." Security arrives. Marcus is escorted out, his career ending in the same hallway where he once walked like a king. Inside the boardroom, Gerald offers Jasmine a chair. "We owe you an apology, and our gratitude. You showed tremendous courage." "I showed evidence," Jasmine corrects. "The courage belonged to the people who supported me." The board offers her Marcus's position, interim CEO, while they search for permanent leadership. Jasmine declines. "I'm not interested in his job," she says. "I want policy change, mandatory bias training, anonymous reporting systems, third-party audits of hiring and promotion practices, real accountability." The board agrees to all of it. That evening, Jasmine picks up Maya from her sister's house. Her daughter runs into her arms, gap-toothed smile wide and bright. "You okay, Mommy?" "Yeah, baby." "I'm okay." She holds Maya close, feeling her mother's presence in the embrace. The magnolia petal sits pressed in her mother's Bible, fragile but surviving, just like her. 3 months later, Jasmine stands in the same boardroom where it all began. The space looks different now, lighter somehow. More windows, more voices. The new CEO is a black woman from Chicago. The board has 3 new members, all people of color. The culture is shifting, slowly but visibly. Jasmine thinks about her mother scrubbing floors in buildings like this one. About every black woman who swallowed humiliation to survive. About her daughter, who'll inherit a slightly better world, one handshake. That's all it took to expose a system built on silence and complicity. Marcus Ashford's refusal wasn't an ending. It was a beginning, because sometimes the biggest act of resistance is refusing to stay silent. Sometimes justice doesn't come from forgiveness. It comes from witnesses, evidence, and the courage to demand accountability. Her mother's voice whispers across the years, "You sit at the table now, baby. Make sure there's room for others." Jasmine looks at the empty seats around the boardroom table. She thinks of all the women who'll sit here next, all the hands that will be shaken with respect, and she smiles because change doesn't happen when good people stay quiet. It happens when one person decides enough is enough and refuses to let go until the world listens. The hand you refuse to shake today might be the one that changes everything tomorrow. When a powerful CEO publicly refuses to shake a black woman's hand, he thinks he's untouchable. But Jasmine Carter isn't just another executive. She's the daughter of a woman who scrubbed floors so her child could sit at tables of power. With 40 witnesses, security footage, and a pattern of discrimination she's uncovered, Jasmine builds a case that will bring an empire to its knees. This is a story about courage, justice, and what happens when silence is no longer an option. Sometimes the biggest act of resistance is refusing to let them get away with it. Watch as one refused handshake becomes the catalyst for systemic change.